Welcome everybody to another YouTube interview hangout. Super excited to be back with you. It's been a busy day and I've got my last and final and best interview of the day. I'm joined by a new friend. Stephen Mario Cavallo is from Australia and he's joining us. He's waking up super early to join us. He's got a show called the Business Firm Radio Show and he wanted to interview me for the show. And I said, yeah, let's do it. Absolutely. Happy to be a part. And why don't we do it as a YouTube interview so that you guys can learn a little bit about him as well. So Stephen, welcome aboard. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, Michael. And how are you on this beautiful, hot, stinking hot morning in Australia?
Yeah, it is not stinking hot. There is snow outside in Toronto, Canada.
Snow. Oh my God. I've never seen snow in my life.
What's that? Yeah. No. I'm happy to be inside talking to you and not out there. For my audience watching, can you just tell a little bit about yourself and then we'll get into the interview?
Yes, I'm the director and founder of the Business Firm, which is an international business consultancy based here in Adelaide, South Australia. And we serve clients all around the world, Europe, US, Asia, and even there's a government in Africa that we look after. So we share the love widely, and as part of what we do is I've got this radio show, and the purpose of this show is to try and impart useful information to to decision makers in businesses or in non-profit organisations or indeed in government. So I have the good fortune of interviewing wonderful people from all around the world in lots of different sectors that are involved in business or that mentor business people. And Evan, of course, you're one of those incredible people. You're a pretty amazing bloke, and we're really, really pleased to be able to talk to each other in this. I'm interviewing you and you're interviewing me in a sense. So this is fantastic. So thank you very much for making this possible.
Very cool. Well, I'm looking forward to having some fun. For you guys watching, we've linked up Stephen's his info in the description so you can check out his show. And over to you, man. However you normally run your show, let's do it.
Excellent. Okay, very good. So look, I've spoken just a little bit about you, barely even introduced you really, and I think it's only right that people, or at least people in my audience who may have not known you in all your glory, if Evan, you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about where you've come from and the wonderful work that you do today, because you're a very, very inspiring man.
Cool. Well, thank you for the warm words. It's an honor to be here. A little bit about me. You know, I think I've had entrepreneur tendencies my whole life. I thought I wanted to be a banker though growing up. I didn't have entrepreneurs in my environment. I don't know how deep you want to go into the personal storytelling as we get further in the interview, but essentially in university, I connected with two entrepreneurs who had started a business. I became a part owner of that company, and we did terribly at the start, and I was barely surviving, and we managed to turn that around and got acquired in the 3-year period. I was 22, sold my first business, joined a venture capital company, started raising $500,000 to $15 million for companies that wanted to expand and grow. And all the meanwhile, started my website to inspire and motivate entrepreneurs, to share some of the lessons that I learned from failing over and over again and finally having some success. And ended up doing a lot of speaking, won a number of awards from Forbes and Inc. magazine as, you know, top leadership speakers and marketing speakers and that fun stuff. And have my website now, have my first book out called Your One Word. We could talk about that if you want. Have a popular YouTube channel with 500,000+ subscribers, mostly catered towards entrepreneurs and lessons that you can learn. My personal ambition is to help 1 billion entrepreneurs. So this is an extra step along that journey. And I appreciate being here, and I'm excited for this.
Fabulous. Well, I mean, obviously today, even perhaps as recent as 10 years ago, had someone said, I want to change the lives of 1 billion people in some way, how would one have done that? But today it's actually really quite possible. So I've looked through your work, Evan, and and obviously your fantastic new book, which we'll discuss. And I can see that you're doing some really wonderful things, mate, and I'm really, really pleased. Now, before we move on to more business-orientated things, I think it's only fair that I ask you the question, Evan, explain the meaning of your tagline, believe, and share some of the values and how you come to that incredible one word, believe.
Yeah, I think everybody has one word that defines them. It's the subject of my new book. I think at the end of the day, we all have one main core value. And when you understand what that is, then you can start to live your life with more purpose. And also for the business, entrepreneurs and business leaders that are listening to your show, to be able to have a business that has more purpose. It started off when I was running my business. I was having some success, but I just felt like I could do more. I felt like I had more potential. I felt like I wasn't reaching it. I didn't know quite what I wanted to do. And I thought the answer was I needed a better tagline for my business. And so I connected with some friends and tried to figure it out and wrote a list of ideas. And what I came down to, believe, was one of the ones that were on my list. And the more I sat on it, the more I just liked it, the more it felt right. And I realized that it wasn't just a business marketing tagline, but it was at the essence of who I was. It was a personal value that then I would have success bringing that to my life and then bringing that to my business as well, bringing that personal value into my business. And, my favorite movie is Seabiscuit. It's about this racehorse that nobody believes in, right? An undersized racehorse, an oversized jockey, and, owner that went bankrupt, and they come together and they manage to make it. And the songs that I like and the books that I like and what I loved about my parents and what I love about my favorite instructors all tied into believe in somehow. And so I thought this is something I need to embrace more on a personal level and then bring it to my business. And I tested on a small scale. I don't like just making massive investments in something without it paying off. I like testing small things and see, okay, I'm getting some traction there. Keep going. And slowly I brought that to my business. I thought it was a crazy thing to do, to rebrand my business around believe, to rebrand my whole life and company around one word. It sounded like this insane thing to do. And so I didn't. I just did small tests. And every test that I did, then we can go into detail if you want, but every test that I did around believe just had a way bigger impact. People resonated with it more. It got way more traction. People started commenting and sharing, and we started building this little movement around it. And so I decided to do a crazy thing and rebrand my business around believe. And it impacts every decision that I make, where if I'm hiring a programmer, I'm not just hiring somebody who has PHP coding skills, but somebody who believes in the mission and wants to help entrepreneurs. Then in that process, other people started seeing the momentum that I was gaining and figured, hey, how can I do this? So, well, you have to find what your one word is. You can't do it around believe like I have. You have to figure out, it's individual for me. You got to find your thing. And started helping other people on their journey to find it. And that eventually culminated into the book, where we're sharing the stories of people who've gone from building a $50,000 just full-time income for themselves, which is the aspirations of a lot of people, up to somebody who's built a $500,000 business, $1 million business, $5 million business, and $150 million business, all around their one word and how to do it. So it's been a pretty wild ride, pretty exciting to when you feel like you're standing for something important and you're living your personal mission. Man, it's exciting, the things that you can do, and to get out of that fog of feeling like there's more potential.
Yeah, absolutely. That whole word of belief, and when there is belief, there's personal investment, there's passion, there's energy, there's everything that's required in order to make anything happen. And in a business context, that's where you see people absolutely fly. I interviewed a gentleman. His name is Anthony Manilai. He owns a business called Better Than Ever, and he's a coach for executives around the world. And he's really about productivity, but he helps people with their body. He's a sports scientist, this man. And the amount of energy he's got, like you, is just absolutely without limits. And he's able to do all that and put everything he does and get the results he gets with his clients because there is belief. So if there's ever a word that is, could I ever put my hand on, or my finger on a word as powerful as belief? I don't know. I think you've got it, mate. I think that's absolutely incredible. So look, let's move the discussion, if we can, Evan, to about some of the services and products that you provide businesses and what you're able to do for them and the sort of results that you can get for business owners that use you in their business.
Sure. So because my goal is to help 1 billion entrepreneurs, I made the conscious decision that everything that I do, I want it to be at scale. So I don't really do one-on-one coaching. I'm not a business coach. It's a fantastic business model. A lot of people are great at it. Just the impact that I want to have is not so much on a one-on-one level. It's one-to-many. And so making that decision means that I have a YouTube channel and I pump out content there, and I have a book now and create content there, and I do shows like this where it can reach a wider audience. And so I try to avoid the kind of one-on-one coaching as much as possible. I similarly don't really have products that I sell besides the book. That's the first product, I guess.
Yeah.
My content is free. The YouTube channel is free. The website is free. We have a business model through advertising and sponsorships. And what I want people to do, when I started this, it was really, I struggled so much to get my business off the ground. I had such a feeling of zero worth and zero value that I didn't expect. Because everything else that I did in my life up to that point, I knew if I worked harder, I would get better results in athletics and school and whatever. And here I was working hard and my business wasn't going anywhere. And I just felt so down on myself. And some of the worst days of my life were in building that first business. And I just wanted to try to make sure and help others to not face that same dark pain that I went through. And so most of my work is in the videos, the website, the book, the speaking engagements, the interviews kind of stuff to hit more of a mass market than the one-on-one services.
Okay. But you do speaking. You speak at events and you use that opportunity to try and help people, business owners, and also obviously their employees if you're doing in-house events. Tell me a little bit about what you do in that situation.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be featured by Forbes and Inc. and a few other publications as the top speaker in leadership and marketing and a few other categories on their annual list, I guess. And that opened up a lot of speaking gigs. I'm in an interesting position where my wife gets really sad when I'm away for too long. And when I have to travel a lot, there's a lot of pressure that I put on myself, because if I go for a week to Australia to give a speech and come back, that's a week that I'm not here doing all the work that I'm doing, making videos, engage with entrepreneurs. Like I have a crazy packed schedule every day of the week. And so the value that I need to bring to the X number of people that are sitting in that hall needs to be so overwhelming that it's more than what I could do from being at home and the content that I can make. And so that's a lot of pressure I put on myself to really make sure that these people better move. Like these people better do something, because I've otherwise wasted my time. And it's not about the money, about being paid to go there. So I take on a limited number of speaking gigs per year for those two reasons. One, just the impact usually isn't as great, and my wife misses me a lot when I go away. So I need to believe in the cause, right? Like most corporate stuff, I don't really do a lot of corporate stuff unless it's part of some bigger picture game with the corporation. But as an example, earlier this year, I went to Madrid, and it was a presentation put on by the Association of Libraries from around the world. So the heads of all the libraries from around the world come to Madrid, and they were worried about losing relevancy in the social media era. Like the kids aren't going to libraries anymore. They're going online. How do we stay relevant? How do we prevent our libraries from failing? And so that's an interesting cause, right? Like these are the leaders of all the libraries from around the world. I have a voice to be able to give them a message and hopefully have an impact on them. And so, yeah, sign me up. I'm going to go. I went to that one. But if it's just, hey, can you come and speak to my team? I don't know. I got to believe in the cause. Otherwise, I'm not going to go.
That's great. That's great. So what I'm hearing, obviously, Evan, is that, yes, there are times that you're able to personally engage with an organisation or with people directly, and that's all good. But much of what you're able to help people with is through your publishing, your published works, be it on online, your book, so on and so forth, your blogs, which puts you very much into the sphere of an author, which I'm going to ask you about in 2 questions' time, if that's okay. But first, what I'd like to do is understand an actual instance, Evan, where, give me an example, please, of where you've made a profound difference in a business or in a business owner's life. I know you've got many because I've heard quite a few now. Just give me a really nice one.
Yeah, so there's 2 that come to mind. One on a deeper one-on-one scale. There's a business that I actually talk about in the book a little bit, where an owner came to me and just had an idea on paper. It's like, here's what I want to start. Here's a business idea that I have. And, you know, fast forward to now, and he's sold over $10 million in deals, and, you know, he's built a company, and his wife is involved, and his kids are involved. And like, he's a guy who went from being a lifelong kind of worker for somebody else to now building his own thing and having something that he's really proud of. And that is part of just a local group. Like, I run a mastermind group here in Toronto for local entrepreneurs, and he's been part of that and came to us basically with just that concept on paper, and now he's built over $10 million. So it's wonderful to see his growth and confidence in himself build, and just the transformation that it has on you as a human being, much more beyond just being able to build a business. It's the community that you can impact. It's what you then bring to your relationships and the lessons you can teach your kids. Making him a better leader makes everybody around him better. And so that's been amazing to see. On the other example, I did an interview with somebody last week who I'd never met before. And he read the book and he found his one word. And he said as soon as he found it, he started crying. You know, like, had such a profound impact on him. And he then reflected on his life that he was just crying. He was equally sad that it'd taken him so long to find his path, and then also excited that he's able to move forward and build something more meaningful now. And like, all that happened without me ever meeting him. And so that's amazing to see. Sometimes it's easy to get lost in the numbers of 500,000 subscribers on YouTube and millions of views every month and all that stuff. And you know, it's sometimes easy to forget that, like, each one of those millions of views is a human being, and they're being impacted in hopefully a profound way.
Absolutely. Yeah, I understand. It's when you're doing most of my work is in the consulting realm, so we're dealing with we're pressing the flesh with real people most of the time around the world, and that consumes a lot of my personal time. So I don't at the moment, the publishing, the mass media stuff is I'm the inverse of you, I suppose. So I get to see more of the real people, so I can see the difference in that my work does and our teams. So that's incredible. I really appreciate you sharing that. Evan, let's talk about your book, Your One Word. I came across this book in iBooks, and I thought, what is this? This is amazing. And it was from that I eventually led me to you. I followed the trail, and here we are talking. Can you share with us a bit about the book and how it's going to help people in their lives and in their businesses?
Yeah, so we've touched on some of the points already. I think a lot of people feel like they have more potential in them. They feel kind of stuck in where they are. They don't know what the path forward is. And I think once you identify what the one thing is that you stand for, what your one true core value is most important to you, then you can start to live your life with more meaning and bring that to your business as well. The book's divided into 3 sections: core, campaign, company. Core is about finding your one word and what that process is, and it's open to anybody, whether you're in business or not. If you're a human being, discovering what you're all about is I believe one of the most powerful exercises you can ever do in your life.
Absolutely.
Campaign then gets it into the marketing side. Okay, I know what I stand for. I know what really is important to me. How do I bring that into my business so that I differentiate? And it's from a marketing point of view, because I want you to get an ROI. You know, when I think of ideas from a business owner perspective, you know, it's a great idea, but it has to return something back, right? If I can generate sales, generate dollars coming in, then it's easy to invest more into and justify a greater expansion. So for someone reading the book, I want you to get an ROI. I want you to start making money from this idea if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner. And then the last part is company. So core, campaign, company. Company then becomes, how do you apply your one word to everything? How do you apply it to your hiring process, to your firing process, to your research and development, to your, you know, everything that's not just marketing? And you realize that it just becomes the lens through which you see the world. Every major important decision that you have to make in your life, your business, is run through the filter of your one word. And so that's why I believe it's, you know, really powerful, and it's geared towards a mostly business audience. But you know, in my test audience that we gave the book to, half of them were not entrepreneurs, and they found tremendous value in that first section just for the self-awareness.
I love that. So we've got, I think I picked up 3 C's. We've got core, is that right?
Yeah.
Core, and that's the foundational stuff around understanding where you are, your meaning, and where you want to go. So you've got core, campaign, I think you said, that was the term you used, and that's your operational side. That's your mechanical understanding and of strategy and so forth. And then company was the last word you used. And that is where you infuse the what you've learned and what you've created throughout your organization and through the culture, and you see how it manifests in all your systems, and also you take it through in your life. And then as you go forward in life, if you'll continually use from that, you come from that space, the core space, you're going to make more truer, meaningful decisions for yourself. That's incredibly powerful, Evan. Look, I've got another question now that's not business related.
All right, I love it.
Incredibly interesting, and most people, at least in my audience, may not realize this, that you are one of the world's best salsa dancers. Is that right?
Well, I don't know if I'd say world's best, but yeah, I do a lot of salsa dancing. I met my wife salsa dancing. I'm an instructor at a salsa dance company that I bought actually earlier this year. So I'm the owner of, I don't know if it might be the world's largest salsa dance company. We teach 5,000-6,000 students a year how to dance salsa.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You must have sore feet, mate, by now. You're teaching that many people.
It's fun. Listen, I'm standing up. I use a stand-up desk. I like being on my feet. I think, you know what? I think it's good to have outside passions too. I think it spurs creativity. I get a lot of ideas on the dance floor, dancing with people, and like, oh, I should do this in my business. Especially when you're feeling kind of stuck or in a rut, going to a hobby of yours and having something else you could put your passion into, I think is helpful. So yeah, I'm a big fan. Whenever I do travel, I try to find one night where I can go to a local salsa club. And that's one of the beautiful things about the salsa community is every city, every night of the week, there's a salsa party happening, and you can go and just dance with people, and it's a universal language. And so I could go to Adelaide, Australia, find a salsa club tonight, and have some fun dancing with some people I've never met before. And yeah, it's a personal passion of mine, and I'm a big fan.
That's fantastic. I'll share a little story from my past. Is when earlier in my life, I was a professional musician, and we used to play at a very a very nice and popular. It wasn't a restaurant. It was a club that served food in Adelaide called Marcelina's, and this place had a large dance floor. It was an expensive place, and we played there on the Friday and Saturday night. And most of those nights, there were obviously people, just diners that would eat and then dance to the music that we played. We played mostly ballads and a little bit of, I suppose, Latin type music. But there were two dance clubs nearby that venue, and when they finished their training, or whatever you call it, their night, they used to come there and eat. And you know, it would have been about 20 couples. 20 couples used to come onto the dance floor and dance, and it looked amazing. And everybody in that room was just in absolute awe of these people that actually knew what they were doing. It looked fantastic. Yeah. And to this day, I always wish that I was able to learn how to do that. So perhaps sometime down the track, when I've got a bit more retirement time, I may knock you up for some lessons.
All right. I mean, I bet it must have felt great too for you as a musician to see, like, you're pouring your art, your creativity out through your instruments, and then you see people dancing. It's not just people eating dinner and you're the background music. Like, people are dancing to your instruments, right? Oh,
it was fabulous. I mean, we had the dance floor was packed all the time anyway. So it was good from that aspect. So we did get that feedback, if you like, that emotional feedback. But when you had these people that actually knew how to dance properly, it just took it to a completely other level. It was an amazing spectacle. And to this day, anytime I see someone that knows what they're doing, I thought, wow, that's just great. You know, so that's wonderful.
I love it.
So, Evan, what else would you like to share with our entrepreneurs who are building businesses, are facing setbacks on a daily basis? There's challenges, there's financial, personnel. They're trying to juggle what they're doing at work with their wives or their husbands, their kids, and all their friends, and that whole realm of trying to find some sort of a balance to keep Humpty Dumpty together. Give them something that they can just absorb and carry with them.
Sure. I'll give an obvious one and a not so obvious one, and then hopefully there's something in there for your audience. The obvious one is you need to make sure you're doing something that you love doing. And if you look at any successful entrepreneur, anybody who's had success in any field, athletes, musicians, like, they love playing. If you learn the guitar only trying to get gigs at clubs and only trying to get the record deal to make money, you're never gonna be a great guitarist. Like, you're never gonna get those gigs. You're never gonna put in the work to just sit at home and strum and practice because you don't love it enough. Your motive is wrong. There's nothing wrong with making money. You have to make money. Like, if you're in business, you need to make money, but just never the number one thing. You have to have something above it. Just the drive and the passion, the love for what you're doing. It's your ticket in. Anybody who's had massive success in any field, they had a pure joy, love for what they're doing. And so I think a lot of entrepreneurs start a business for the wrong reason. They open up a magazine and they see, like, the hottest companies to start in 2017, and I'm gonna do that one, even though you have zero interest or knowledge about it. Business coaching is the hottest thing to start. So you're gonna see like a million new business coaches, but nobody actually has a passion for business coaching, and the ones who do are the ones who always rise to the top. And so I think people get into it for the wrong reason. A lot of times that's why they fail. So that's an obvious one, but I think still an important message. For now, the people who are left, who do actually love what they're doing, my next message, the not so obvious one, is really pay attention to the environment. Your environment makes a huge, 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 huge difference. What I find in myself and with a lot of other people is you have these moments where you get really confident and you dream big and you think you can accomplish this amazing new thing. And then you may be working hard on it in the afternoon, and you wake up the next day and that feeling is gone. You start to shrink back down. You start to you're like, oh, that was too big an idea. I can't do that. I didn't go to school for that. I don't have the connections. I don't have the resources. I'm not good enough to do that. I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing before. So these moments where we believe in ourselves so much more, we think we have so much more potential, we kind of crash through and then we fall right back down. It's your environment that brings you back to where you are.
Yes.
You know, if you want to learn Japanese, the fastest way is move to Japan.
Yes.
Because you have that environment. If you're just reading a textbook once a week, you're not really going to learn Japanese, right? And so you need to apply that to any major thing that you want to do in your life or in your business. If you want to, you know, you have that boldness, you understand what your one word is, and now you want to try to apply it, look at your environment. And does it align with that bigger vision of yourself? So it's from your physical environment. So when you walk in, where are you working? What's on the walls of where you're working, right? Are they pictures of people that inspire you? Are they quotes that inspire you? You know, do you have enough light in your office? Is it the right temperature for you? Do you have a nice view? Like it could still be in your garage or your basement, but set it up for success so that you get inspired in your workplace. What's your morning routine look like? You know, like maybe listening to this show, you know, maybe you're listening to this on 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon and you're inspired. Amazing. And you're going to wake up tomorrow and it's going to be gone. So if listening to this show is something that gets you excited, then start your day with it every day, right? If reading a book is what gets you going, then start your day every day. Like make it part of your routine as opposed to randomly stumbling across something and being inspired for a couple hours, but you don't follow through.
Yes.
I think your environment is holding you where you are. From the people in your life to the videos that you watch, to the books you read, to the media you consume, all of that. The environment holds you where you are. And if you have that bold idea, then the next thought should be, how do I design my environment to support me now playing at that upper level instead of falling back down the next day?
Yes. Oh, so true. I mean, you must set yourself up for success. And if you've got a system that you've built around you where you've got good friends, you continually drink motivation on a daily basis. You read stuff, you watch good video content like your own, Evan. It's going to keep you at that level because everybody needs that extra energy boost. And look, that leads me to the last question, Evan, for you, and that is, I've noticed you're building a large international community. On your website, you speak about your community, your movement. And this is perhaps a very good opportunity for people to become involved in something that's meaningful and that would help advance their own personal and business development. Evan, share with us about that community and the opportunity that it presents.
Sure. I honestly think we have the most, if not one of the most positive and encouraging communities on YouTube of any channel. A lot of channels, if you go to their YouTube, you'll see just a lot of hate, a lot of people making fun of each other, a lot of people putting each other down. And in ours, it's supportive. People come with problems, with questions, and you know, I help out, I get involved. A lot of the other members will help out, contribute back. Everybody is trying to build something, you know, something greater. Some people are already in business and they're trying to hit another level. Some people haven't started yet and they want to, you know, bet on themselves next year, and this is their time to get out and do it. And it's just a really encouraging, empowering place to be. I think back to the point about the environment, if you're surrounded by people who are encouraging and positive and empowering, chances are you may not have that anywhere in your life. Like look at your friends, for the younger crowd, look at your parents. Are they encouraging you? Are they saying you can do this? Are they saying you have the skills, go out, you know, run for it? Or are they saying, you can't do that, right? Most of us don't have a great connection of people around us. And so the community, we call it Believe Nation, the community on YouTube could be a great fit. A business coach like Stephen could be a great fit. Like maybe that's part of your thing is once a week you get on a call, start your week Monday morning with Stephen, and he gives you, you know, that little bit of belief and encouragement as well. I think people need to find the thing that they get motivated and inspired to play at a higher level at. Whether it's watching a video and being part of my community, whether it's hiring a business coach and that keeps them on track, whether it's creating a mastermind group and meeting with them regularly, an accountability partner, reading the book, something. You need something. Change your environment or you're going to stay where you are.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So true. And the first stumbling block for most people is that they don't realise, they don't have awareness that that's what they need to do. I'm amazed people that are actually successful in business and making money, they don't see that in the first place. You know, they hang around people that are just dragging them down. They have low energy. You can't do much about your family if that's how they are. Like all your friends, all your mates, you can handpick those. You know, if you that environment is so incredible. I've never used the word environment to describe it. Everyone, I like that word. I think I've got to put your name against that word. But it's
all right.
It's very good environment. Yeah, it's there's a saying that is used in Italy. It's a little bit rude, so I won't repeat it for those that understand Italian. But it basically says that if you hang around with people that smell of a certain excrement, that you're going to smell the same. So it's a little bit of a funny way of saying it, but it's true. I mean, if you've got people that are upbeat and around you, who is it? I think it's John Lee Dumas. He keeps saying in the emails that he sends out, you are the product of the five people that you spend the most time with.
Sure.
You know, if those 5 people are positive and successful and looking after themselves and all the things that you offer yourself, then it's more likely that you will become those things.
Sure.
Yeah, law of attraction in action.
Sure. And listen, and changing your friends can be hard. Like a lot of people will hear that and say, well, that's great, Evan and Stephen, but I don't know who else to hang out with. I don't have other mates and other friends to be around. Well, don't let that hold you back. Like start reading some more books. Like, you know, I've never met Steve Jobs, but he's one of my closest friends. You know, like I hang around him. I watch his interviews. I read the books. I try to learn from him, right? Watch the videos, listen to the radio shows, just start consuming more. Like, I think I'm a big believer in aspirational mentors, people that you look up to that you may never, ever meet in your life. But by hanging around them a little bit more, by reading their books and watching the videos and hearing their interviews, like some of their mindset mentality seeps into you to not let you become the next Steve Jobs, but help you become the best version of you to rise up to a different level. And so, yes, longer term, you need to change your friends maybe, and maybe you go to meetups and maybe you go to conferences, and that process may not happen overnight of changing your 5 best friends. But you can start a daily habit of reading a book. You could start a daily habit of watching a motivational video or hiring a business coach. Like you can start that process right now. Nothing else needs to change. Just stop doing this other habit. Stop hanging around on Facebook every night when you go home for half an hour, an hour, whatever it is, and use that time with intent to focus on growing yourself.
Yes. I mean, really, the beginning, the most important thing is having the awareness in the first place. You know, the fact that someone actually understands, as soon as they realize, then it's actually quite easy. I mean, like they say, as soon as when a student's ready, the teacher will appear. And you become open to all these things and everything starts appearing around you, people and resources and so forth. So on that note, Evan, tell us about how people get in contact with you, how they can buy your book, because that is one of the books that I'm recommending to people. Your One Word by Evan Carmichael. It's even if you're a seasoned entrepreneur and you've quite a way down the road in your personal and business development, this is still a very, very good book. How can people get in contact with you? Where can they see your works, and how can they buy your book?
So the book is available anywhere major, books are sold, any retailer. It's on Amazon. I don't know what the big bookstores are in Australia, but they're there. At least they should be. If they're not, let me know. We'll get my publisher on it. But it's with Penguin Random House, so it's a major publisher. It should be anywhere you buy books. It should be there. In terms of connecting with me, the two places that I live are mostly YouTube and Twitter. So, you know, as a next step, if you're curious and you want to learn more, I would say just go to the YouTube channel, watch a couple of the videos, see if they inspire you, see if you learn something from it. Again, I love little steps. Like, let me prove to you that I can bring value before you commit and spend a lot of, not even money, just time. Like, don't go out and spend a week on my stuff. Watch 1, 2, 3 things, and if you love it, then ingest a little bit more. So YouTube's probably the best place to start, and you can leave a comment, be a part of our community. You'll get a lot of love in the replies, and looking forward to meeting you guys.
Excellent. And one other thing, ladies and gentlemen, Evan is on LinkedIn. I see his feeds come through from time to time. The one that you did yesterday, I think it was. You did something yesterday, which I commented on. I highly recommend you look into Evan Carmichael. It's EvanCarmichael.com. EvanCarmichael.com. He's got a lot of really high quality and inspiring business-related works there. Look at his YouTube channel. Get into his stuff. He's one of the people, along with your Anthony Robbins and your maybe not Wayne Dyer. It's a little bit more on the spiritual side, although I have seen some of your spiritual stuff too. But this is one of the people that you want in your repertoire of content to listen to. Evan, thank you very much for your time, mate. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I think we're only, what's the date today? It's the 23rd now. Is it the 23rd?
It's 22nd for me, 23rd for you.
No, it's the 23rd. It's the 23rd now. It's 8:30 in the morning on the 23rd. We're only, Father Christmas will be here in 2 more days, and it's stinking hot in Australia. It's 40 degrees today. I've got the air conditioner cranking. You've probably got the heater on.
The heater's cranking high.
And you have a Merry Christmas, Evan, and best of love to you, your family, and to everyone in your audience that's watching this. I hope that Evan and I have been able to generate something worthwhile and interesting for you to listen to today. And all the very, very best in 2017. I hope you kick some very, very, very big goals and get closer to that $1 billion, 1 billion person mark.
I love it. Thank you for the time, for the honor, and all the love, Stephen. Merry Christmas to you too, man.
Thank you, mate.
Okay.
All the
Cheers.
best.